Hi there and welcome to hobby vlog number 263. Now this week I have been struggling with dental pain that I explained last week, but as I stand here now it is a lot better. I've been getting treatment, some magic green stuff, been going every day to the dentist, and my ulcers from where he damaged my lip are now finally slowly healing, which is very good because it's actually Friday when I'm recording this, not Sunday, which is my normal day, because this evening I'm heading off to go and see Rosie and I'm very, very excited about that. So it's a shorter week for me hobby wise, and I'm going to get this done and it will be ready and published on Sunday, so I really hope you enjoy the video. So let's jump into the Reaper Challenge. I managed to paint up the miniature this week in one sitting actually, which was a Dwarf Barbarian. I'll pop that picture on screen now, and the video for that is already edited and will be published on Monday over on An Average Painter if you want to see how I did that. It was a fun miniature to paint, and thank you to everyone that voted. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, every week on screen right now, I pick a list of 10 miniatures. This is from my massive Reaper backlog, and you guys get to vote on which miniature or miniatures you want me to paint in the following week. Now, because I'm going to be away for a few weeks now, because I'm going to visit Rosie, I'm going to once again this week, it's 3 miniatures to vote for. So what you do is you leave a comment below. You can leave a comment about anything you want to, but if you include the name of up to 3 of the miniatures on screen right now, those will go into the prize draw. Now the prize draw is every 4 weeks of voting. I put everyone's votes into a hat or spinny wheel, and whoever's name gets picked will be able to choose one of the miniatures from the previous 4 weeks that I've painted, and I'll send it to them brand new from the Reaper website. And the miniature or miniatures with the most votes will be painted up for the following vlog. So that's how it works, and it's really cool because it's inspiring me to paint, and I just love the interaction as well with you guys. And it's really awesome to know that there are now miniatures across the world that I've sent out that people are having fun with and painting. So last week I also allowed 3 miniatures to be picked because I'm going away, and the ones that won was the Drowned Nymph Ghost Banshee, which is cool. There's a bit of a theme actually this time. The Female Wraith, which is also cool, and the Necromancer, which is also cool. Now I've realised that I actually have 2 of these female wraiths, so there's still a female wraith to be voted for. So I might not sure what I'm going to do with that. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do add your vote for the Reaper miniature because it really does help me, like I've said. I have managed to get some hobbying done this week, and I really hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you again at the end. Right, so Dwarf Barbarian. Let's have a look and see what this miniature is like, and how much clean up we might have to do. Looks pretty good. Yeah, looks like a pretty cool miniature. So what I'm going to do is get this into hot soapy water, give it a good scrub, get it cleaned up, get all these bits of extra bits of flash off, get it primed, put it onto a base, and I'll bring it back and show you what it looks like, and hopefully by that time I'll be able to talk, because this is really painful. I have decided what I'm going to take for my hobbying while I'm on the road, and I'm going to pull out my Star Wars Legion miniatures, because I think Rosie might enjoy quite a lot helping out with these as well, so there might be a little bit of a hobbying together opportunity, but also ultimately they're pretty cool. So there's a bit of assembly to be done. As you can see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these assembled during this week and primed and based, and then I'll take them and my hobby and we'll just be painting while I'm away, because that makes most sense to me. So yeah, going to get stuck in on that. I'll bring you along, show you how I do the assembly, and hopefully it'll be cool. And I've got this one layer that is for Rosie, so I'll assemble this and then Rosie can hopefully paint this one. Well, I started cutting up the lollipop sticks, and the puppies really don't like me doing it. It makes big bangs when I'm cutting them, so I'm going to have to do it steadily. And I've also just spray painted the inside walls like a dirty yellow. So yeah, this is now ready for these to be glued in. I'm going to wait for the yellow to dry, and I'm going to keep cutting these. Like I said, it's going to take a long time. I don't actually know if I'm going to get this done in time. I don't actually know if using the lollipop sticks is the best idea, because it is really hard to cut these. They're very solid, and it was really terrifying my dogs, the bangs. So I might end up going with card, and if I do, I'll show you. But ultimately card will be much easier, because I can obviously use a knife and score it, and I can get the sections the right length. But it does look really good with the wood, so I'm not sure. I'm going to have a think about it, and I'm going to stop talking now because this hurts. Right, I've just managed to put together one speeder bike. That was a real pain. So I'm going to show you some of the bits. It's not made easier by Thelma sitting here, but she's determined to sit here. So first of all, this little kind of thing needs to be put in first, I think, and it slots in underneath here. The instructions are very unclear, but it slots in at the bottom like that, and it's a real pain to get in if you don't do it first. It's a pain to get in anyway, particularly when you're clumsy like me. So that slots in like that. There we are. It's going to stick. I'm using super glue now, not my plastic glue. Just got fed up with waiting for the plastic glue. So let's see if we can get this in now. It's hard doing this with thumb on my arm. There we are, that clicked in. But of course, now that's clicked in, I've got super glue on my finger. There we are. Okay, so that's how that goes, roughly-ish. What I then do is actually, to make it a little bit easier, I'm then actually going to stick the base to the rod to the base, and stick the actual machine onto the base as well. Might seem counterintuitive, but you find it a bit easier if this is stable than you will if it's not. And I forgot what you need to do actually is put this in first because it is directional. I'm making mistakes live on camera, so you don't. And then that can now set on there in the middle. And what we'll do is we'll now let that dry. Once that's gone off, then you can come along and you can put the back on like this and start to attach the other bits and pieces that we've got. But I'll bring you back when I get to that. As you can hear, my mouth is slowly recovering, but I'm still quite sore. So what I'm going to do now, probably off camera, I filmed in silent all of the stormtroopers. I'm going to do the rebels, just going to glue them together. It's the same thing as you saw in the silent one with the video. And I'll bring you back when I come to do the AT-RT, which I'm going to struggle with. Right, it's enough talking. So I've assembled all these figures, including Luke and Darth Vader. And what I'm doing now is I'm going to get a little bit more done on the speeder. So as I say, you put this little kind of like bag on the back there. And then this goes, Mum says hurry up it goes. Yeah, this goes on the back. Little slot there, like that. So a bit of super glue in here. And slot that in. And then for this stage of the construction, we're going to set the pilot on. And the pilot goes at an angle and he sits quite naturally, and that's how he fits. So it's actually relatively easy to get that right. Now I suppose you could paint the rider separately, but I'm not going to worry about that. And I'm going to leave it at that stage for now. I'm actually missing a part. I'm missing the gun that goes underneath. So this one's going to be, unless I can find it, this piece is going to be missing a bit. Never mind. Yeah, so that's the next stage to get to. Next thing we'll do once that's settled in is we'll put the arms in, put the feet support in, and then the two little nozzles at the front, and then we'll be done. So yeah, there we are. Right, I will come back to that tomorrow and get that finished and show you what it looks like when it's done. But what I'm going to be doing with these now, as well as the ones upstairs, is I'm going to prime these. I'm not going to stick them down to the base because I want to leave the bases as the colours they are. So I'm going to temporarily stick these to tongue depressors to get them primed, and then I'll take them on my trip on tongue depressors. So that's the stage I'm going to get to. So hopefully get that done this week. Right, so here he is, the Dwarf Barbarian on his base, primed up. So I'm going to make a start at painting this soon and hopefully get that done this week. Because yeah, I've got a short week this week, so I really need to crack on. So I'm going to have to, it's late night now, so I'm going to have to start that tomorrow morning, see how far I get. So I'm just gluing these onto their base, having washed them up. And I've decided I'm not going to take them with me for this trip because I'm only taking a limited quantity of paint. I want Rosie to be able to paint these in whatever crazy colour she wants. I also know that the last clip for this, before this one, I said strawberry cheesecake, not blueberry cheesecake, because I got confused. And you had a good laugh at me about that. But anyway, so these are going to get primed. After they've been glued in, I'll prime them. And I'll bring them back and show you what it looks like when they're primed. But for now, we're just going to stick them to their bases and let them to dry. It's going to look pretty cool. They're really, really nice little sculpts, by the way. Should have done that. That was about, I need to clean on that. There we are. But right now, that should fit. There we are. Mouth is still sore, as you can hear, but it's getting a lot better than it was. A whole lot better than it was. This is probably the one that doesn't want to fit the most. Yeah, it doesn't want to fit in it. Every other one has been absolutely spot on, and that one needed bending in place. There we are, spoke to you soon. But anyway, when that's dried, I'll prime them and I'll bring you back when I have done with this stage. Right, so just quickly to show you how I go about doing this. I'm gluing my miniatures to these tongue depressors. And what I do is I put a blob of super glue on. That was probably a little bit too much super glue. Put a blob of super glue on the foot, on one foot, and just hold it in place like so. Hopefully it will stick. So let's do both of these. And then once it's stuck in place, we can then paint it, but you don't want to glue it too securely, otherwise you'll really struggle to pull it off and get it off of the with the tongue depressor. So that's that. So I'll do that for all of these, and I've got the stormtroopers as well, just set over to one side. So I'll get all these glued down, let them dry really well, and I'll prime them up this evening. And we're going to be ready, which is really cool. Well, these are all primed now and looking great, and they're going to go on the side. Like I say, I'm not going to take them with me because I'm not going to take all of my paints. I want Rosie to be able to let rip with these and paint her whatever colour she wants and have all the fun in the world. So I'm going to do that in in July. So you have to wait for that to see these come to life. But believe me, I've got lots of other stuff that I'm going to be doing while I'm travelling. And hopefully a lot of stuff with Rosie as well. So yeah, thank you again, Blueberry Cheesecake, for sending me these. Rosie will get some great joy out of them, I'm sure. Well, these are now based and I've finished making the two speeders. I've not done the other one yet. I'm going Going to do that when I'm a little bit more alert. My mouth is a lot better than it was. I managed to get to the dentist today and get the stitches taken out, but I'm still a bit battered. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spend the next few days just painting my way through, priming my way through all of these miniatures. There's loads, as you can see, but if you want to get something done, you just have to start. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to get these primed and then pack them up and take them on my trip. I've got 3 days. Well, I just started trying to prime, and I've realised that I forgot to wash these miniatures, and I'm going to go and wash them now, but I thought I'd just show as best I can on camera why you wash. So if we come in here and slap this paint on, it's probably going to work now because I've washed off the primer once. Yeah, it's going to work. Let me see if it'll happen on this one. It just doesn't adhere, it just kind of like capillary actions back away. Oh look, the camera's making me a liar. Oh, it would be nice if I don't have to wash them. I had forgotten to wash them. On that first one, I applied primer and applied primer and applied primer, and it just kept on retreating. There we are. Actually, it has retreated a little bit, look. Just there. Put the paint on. It doesn't want to stay. Right, I'm going to crack on with this, and what I'll do is any that I can get to prime, I'll prime, and any that I can't, I'll wash. But I'm annoyed at myself for forgetting, because it takes no time at all when you wash them like wet straight away, but trying to wash them while they're on these sticks is going to be a bit of a pain. Yep, I went back to painting and it absolutely started retreating. So I've just stood and washed all these miniatures, scrubbed them with the toothbrush, and there's the atat. And I'm going to let these dry here, and then tomorrow I'm going to start priming them. It's a bit of a pain, but yeah, they were not accepting paint. So there we are. If you're going to pick these up, wash them with soapy water or your paint will fall off. Well, there we are. Oh, out of focus. Yeah, I managed to get Dwarf Barbarian done. I think it turned out really nicely. Had a lot of fun doing that. Actually managed to paint this in one sitting, which is always good. And I think it just helps to get quite a cohesive result when you do it like that. Sorry for the shaky cam. So, yeah, as you can hear, my mouth is slowly getting better. Thank goodness. Dentist gave me some treatment for my ulcers yesterday and it's been magic. It's not 100% yet, but I'm getting there. Which is good because I'm going to be on the road soon. I don't want to be sick when I'm on the road. I'm in pain. But anyway, thank you ever so much to everyone that's voted already this week. Thank you to everyone that voted for this one. But if you haven't yet voted this week, don't forget to do so, because your vote counts. It does. It makes a difference, and you could be in with winning one of these miniatures from Reaper. So thanks to everyone that's taken part, and thanks if you're going to take part now. Well, I've saved this Weetabix box, and what I'm going to do now is start to cut strips out so I can use it for the squares on this tower. However, what I've just realised is I'm going to need to first of all get my scissors and cut that square out, because it's too big for this guillotine and it's going to be a little bit unwieldy. So I'll quickly do that, then I'll bring you back and show you how I'm going to go about doing this. Actually, I've decided to use my straight edge and a crafting knife. This is by far the quickest and best way to get straight cuts. There we are. So I'll just take all these tabs off, and then I'll come back then, and we'll have a look at cutting these up with the guillotine. Of course, the alternative is I could just use my straight edge and the markings on my cutting board, but I think it's going to be quicker with the guillotine, and it's always nice to use things that you bought that you don't get to use very often. Oh, there we are. I'm back in a second. Right, so what I'm going to be doing is, I think, 3 by 3. So what we'll do is we'll line that up like so. And then once I've done the strips at 3, I'll do the squares at 3, and you can see just how much quicker this is than doing it with the straight edge. You need to be very careful with these tools. You can easily hurt yourself with a lot of the things we do in hobbying, so just be careful. Make sure, as you can see, I keep my hand behind the guide so I can't slip over. Just very, very careful when I'm using this. It's sharp. Right, so we've nearly finished cutting this up. Can have one more out of this, I think. Yep. What we'll do now is we'll turn these round. We'll do that, and we end up with a nice square. So I'll get the rest of these cut. I'm not going to film it all, it'll be very repetitive. And then we'll go and start gluing them down in place on the tower. Right, here we are. I've got my stack of squares here, and I'm going to give it a go with some copy decks, I think. So what we're going to do, and this shouldn't take very long. Now I do have to be aware of these holes, which I'm going to have to notch out, because that's how the what's it on top, the tower section on top will go. This brush is completely destroyed from being in that pot. But we're going to spread that copy decks out. Like so. There's going to be a couple of stages to this process, but I need to get it right up to the very edges. Don't need any gaps at the edges at all. There we are. And then, starting in one corner, I'll place these in, like so. So I'm going to do this on all of these pieces. Let it dry, and then I'll bring you back for the next step when I get to it. On my other project, the ruined tower, I've been cutting up some Weetabix, actually, Weetabix box, to make slabs. And I realised that what I actually want to do for this is to have the ground floor be stone slabs, and then do the upstairs as the wood. A couple of reasons. One, I think I've mentioned that when I'm cutting these, it's absolutely terrifying my puppies. Noise is not something that they're liking, and that does concern me. You know, they're my pups. I don't want to scare them. And two, it's just taking ages because of that. So I can probably get most of this done in one single sitting, apart from any gaps. There's a big lump of plastic there. Apart from any that I'd have to cut up, which might take a little bit longer. So what I'm going to do, that's rubbish. Look, how are you supposed to use this? Oh. What I'm going to do, I'm going to spread some glue around and come along and start to put the slabs down on the ground floor. And I should get this done today, hopefully, which will be really good, because tomorrow is when I go on my trip, and what I don't do today or tomorrow won't get done in time. So if I can try and get this done, then maybe I can paint it tomorrow, and it will just have to be entered like that, and I'll finish it when I get back. So anyway, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Using this absolutely terrible brush. I might go and get the other brush. I think I've got another one upstairs, which might spread a bit better. Get this all put down, get it all spread out, get the squares plugged in, push down. Top tip for how to get rid of the glue, this glue, so it doesn't stick to everything, is just rub your hands together. Right, so let's start doing this. So yeah, the good thing with this glue is it doesn't warp and it grabs because it's rubber. So because it's rubbered and not water based, you're not going to have your tiles lifting, which is better than if you're doing it with PVA, which is when you need to weight things down, which is then when it becomes a big pain. You can probably hear that I'm speaking a lot better as well. My mouth is getting much better. It's still not fully recovered, but it's a lot better than it was. It is a big relief, I can tell you. So I can actually talk again. Anyway, I'm just muttering now. I'll crack on with this and I'll bring you back when everything is done, show you what it looks like. Right, I've got all these primed, so they're going to go in the box to be taken with me, but I decided against building this and taking it. A couple of reasons. One, I think it'd be quite fragile, and two, just ran out of time. But I've got all of these ones printed out, painted up and primed. I've also printed out some ideas of how I'm going to paint them, so that means I'm going to be able to gather my paints together, which is one of the challenges obviously when you're going on the road, is you can't take your entire hobby kit with you. I can take quite a lot, I can fit 90 paints in, but I'm probably not going to take that many. I'm going to be doing that by this time tomorrow I'll be on the road, so I need to get that started now really and get those into the van. Yeah, pretty happy, pretty excited. There's a lot of miniatures. I don't know if I'll manage to do them all on the road, but I will film and that will go into the next vlog as to how far I get on this. So yeah, I'm going to film while I'm on the road, I think, a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. Well, this is the state that I'm going to be leaving this in before I go away. And so this is as far as I've got in terms of actually having an entry, which is a shame, but at least I've made a go and I'm really pleased with the technique, and I'm happy that I didn't rush it. So these have stuck down really nicely, as you can see, and will paint up very well. I actually have more of these upstairs, but that's my stack at the moment. I managed to get some time yesterday while the pups were running around outside to do a bunch of cutting of it. But I'll come back to it when I get home from my visit and try and finish it off then. I have entered it anyway in the TCU challenge, because it doesn't matter if you finish or not, it's all about making a start and doing a creation. So we've still got a month left, so if you want to get involved, there is an invite in the footer in the description of all of my videos to the TCU Discord. So go over there, get in there, get involved, and have some fun. And like I say, it doesn't matter if you finish or not, it's about giving it a go. That's what matters. So yeah, anyway, I'm looking forward to getting back to this when I get home. Well, there you are. Like I said, I did manage to get some hobbying done this week, though I couldn't really speak very well for a lot of it. And quite a lot of the audio in this week's is really bad, as I've edited it just now, so sorry about that. It's very hard to speak at any volume at all when you can't move your tongue and you can't move your lips. And yeah, so there was some very bad audio. But it was nice to hobby, it was nice to get some stuff done, and I'm looking forward to seeing Rosie very much and doing some hobbying with her as well, which will obviously appear in the next vlog. So don't forget to vote for the three Reaper miniatures that you can vote for this week. The image is on screen now, and I always forget in the intro, but there is also in the description a list of these miniatures with links to the Reaper website. And if I remember, there'll be a pinned comment as well, but probably not this week because I'll be traveling. But yeah, do vote. It's really cool. It really motivates me, and it's lovely to have the interaction with you guys as well. So thank you ever so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, please do stay healthy, stay safe, and stay well.